You are not what you've been through. You are not the pain, the mistakes, or the version of you that was simply surviving. Your experiences may have shaped you, but they did not. And I say, they do not define you. Hey, hey, welcome back to Pursuing Me with Sharita, the space where we pause, reflect, and most definitely grow. Grow through what we go through. Today, I want to hold space for anyone who's ever confused what they've gone through with who they are today. If you've ever said, I guess I'm just broken, or this is just who I am, and we all hear that all of the time. We even put that on some people that we know, friends or family. We'll go, oh, that's just how they are. That's just who they are. No, 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 no. That's just who they want to be. So, guys, if you've ever said that, this episode is for you. Because I want to remind you, your experience is not your identity. It's part of your story, but it isn't the whole truth about you. Let's breathe through this together. Sorry about it's it's one of those days. I did not want to record, and I'm going to keep it totally transparent with you guys. Some weeks I'm pushing through. Some days I'm pushing through. Other days I am going hard ham, as they say. I'm going ham. But today is one of those days where I was thinking about, if I skip an episode, will they notice? But you know what? I have to stay loyal to myself as well as you guys. That has been tapping into Pursuing Me with Sharita from day one. And I thank you. But guys, I created a few main talking points for this episode because it was I could have got out of hand with it. So I just took a little notes, and I hope I don't go a little far fetched today, but I'm gonna try to stay, of course. I'm gonna try to stay, of course. So guys, our first main talking point, and I'm going to say experience versus identity. You know, there's a big difference between what happens to you and who you are at your core. Your traumas, mistakes, heartbreaks, setbacks. They may have influenced your journey, but they do not get to narrate your future. Only way they get to narrate your future if you allow them to. That's the only way. We all go through things. We all been through things, and we're going to continue to go through things. Regardless of what those things are, we will continue to, as long as we are on this earth, we will continue to go through things. So, guys, something I want to ask you. I want you to ask you yourself, what are you still calling you? That's really just something you went through. Listen, should I repeat it? What are you still calling you? That's really just something you went through. You probably just went through this a point of your life, a period of your life, but yet you're still holding on to it and giving it a trait for you. But what are you still calling you? That's something for you to reflect on before I head over to point two that I wanted to talk about. Guys, survival mode isn't your default. Sometimes we take a survival habit and wear them like personality traits. As I just said, some things we put on ourselves as if they are traits, when it was only a situation or a time that you went through something. You know, we start saying things like, I don't trust people. Oh, we hear that all the time. Or I'm just cold. I always mess things up. But these are not core truths about yourself. Those are like defense or coping mechanisms and coping responses. That's all that is. You've learned them in hard seasons, but you don't have to stay there. And again, only unless you want to stay there. Give you a minute to think about that before I go into my next point. Yeah. Next point. Release the shame narrative. Shame will have you. That's a whole nother topic. That's a whole nother episode. Shame convinces us that we are the worst things we've done or experienced. I'm sure everybody's done something that they were ashamed of, but you don't have to stay in a shame state. You can release that narrative. Release it. If you haven't released it yet, as you listen to this episode, take my word and release it. Healing reminds us that we are worthy of softness, forgiveness, and of course, growth. Even if no one else gives you that grace, I hope you give yourself grace. You are allowed to outgrow what hurt you, you know? And I want to give a little personal experience that I can recall. I remember some years ago, it's been over 20 years or so ago. I was in a grieving state. Some people know, some may not have known the extent of it, but I grieved a long time. And I could recall almost to the day that I snapped out of it because I realized that I was keeping myself in that space. That wasn't who I was. That was something that I went through and possibly was going through at the time, but I lingered it on and lingered it on and lingered it on. But I had to give myself grace and grow out of that stage, grow from that stage. So, guys, you are allowed to outgrow what hurts you. I'm going to this last point. As we enter this last point, I want you to listen with the open heart as well as your ears. Reclaiming your identity. Start asking yourself, who am I becoming now that I know better? I feel like that's the whole ordeal of pursuing me with Sharita because everything is about who are you becoming. Every day we are becoming a greater person, a greater being than we were the day before, we were the next day. Ask yourself, who am I becoming now that I know better? They say, you know better, you do better. That is total facts. When you know better, you do better. And I want you to give yourself permission to evolve beyond the version of you that was just trying to get by, just to the person that was just trying to make it, because this is your becoming season. And we're here at Pursuing Me with Sharita to do this together. I was going to say Pursuing Me Collective because that's the whole underlying brand, but Pursuing Me with Sharita is here as the podcast. So, guys, I don't know if you have your phone, if you have a piece of paper in front of you, or if you listen to this episode again and I want you to go back because I want you to jot this down, what I'm going to say to you. I want you to write down or take it internally. What beliefs about myself am I ready to release because it no longer serves the person I'm becoming? Should I repeat it? I think I will. What belief about myself am I ready to release because it no longer serves the person I'm becoming? I want you to write it down. I want you to take it internally and I want you to release it. Place it with truth. Release it. Place it with truth. And guys, in closing, I want you guys to know that you're not what happened to you. You're not your lowest moment. You're not the version of you that was simply trying to stay afloat or just to get by. You are becoming intentionally, beautifully, and bravely. And that is who you really are. And guys, I'm going to always wholeheartedly thank you for taking the time today to listen and to tap into Pursuing Me with Sharita today and each and every week for those that download the episode every week or tune into YouTube or any of the other podcast platforms that I am available on, iHeart, YouTube, Apple, Podbean. There's a few others. But guys, I want you to remember that you're going to always be in your becoming season. And before I leave, I was testing out a new microphone system. So it sounds a little different for me. I don't know, because I have the headphones on, so I don't know if I'm yelling. I don't know what. I already have this raspy voice. But guys, I'm still here for it. Whichever way I'm giving it to you, whether it's clear, whether it's echo, whether it's outside, whether I'm inside, whether the car's riding by, I'm still going to be here and showing up for you as well as me. Have an amazing day, evening, night. Peace. Stay blessed.